Welcome to our channel. So in this session I would like to demonstrate how to create data models and establishing the relationships among the variables. So what do you mean by data model? So data model is nothing but set of tables, and these tables are organized by having the relationships between the variables. That means you need to establish a common attributes. So based on the common attributes you can establish the relationship between the tables, and also you can add some new columns. So that is the agenda of today's session. So data model is defined by the tables which are created from the Power Query editor. So if you have attended or if you have gone through my previous video, in that video I have demonstrated how to load the data and then how to do data transformations. So if you have not attended, so that is a prerequisite, so I suggest you to go through the video. And then so here we have set of tables. So from the last session, so these are the tables. So far we have budget and forecast and calendar, hours and people, and you can click on this, the table view. So if you click on the table view, we have the tables created. So like if you select on a particular, if you click on a particular table, you can see the data. So this is the data of calendar, and this is the data of hours table, and this is people's table. And then if you click on this third tab, which is a model view, which will list out the tables that you have. So far we have 4 tables. This is the first table, second table, third table, and this is the fourth table. And as you can see, there is no link between these tables. So the agenda of today's session is how to establish the link between these tables, so that you can get the insight of one table into the another table. Means you can get the attributes of one table into the another table. So that is the meaning of data model, and these are the tables. And next so we can have a layout. So based on the structure, or based on your problem statement, you can just have a layout. For example, in this no in this video, so we just want to have this kind of no structure, and then we can establish the relationship between these tables. So why these tables are organized like that? Because you can have a proper link among these tables. So first is calendar. So below calendar table, let's put budget and forecast. So here, so this is the calendar table. So before that, below that, I'm putting budget and forecast. Just drag and put it below that, and you see if some columns are not visible, so you can also increase the height. So for example, you see it's not visible, so there is also vertical bar. Some columns are hidden, you can just increase the height of the table so that this vertical bar goes. Now the vertical bar has gone, and so we put the structure below calendar, budget and forecast, and then we would like to have people below people's hours table. So just put this over here and then drag hours table below people's table. And here also there is a similar problem, so all the columns are not visible, so you can just increase the height of this table until this vertical bar goes out. Yep, now they have gone. So these are the 4 tables. We have the structure, and then we want to establish the relationships. So creating relationships between the tables allows to do some calculations and perform some aggregation operations like sum, average, min, max. So that type of operations can be applied on the table. So for example, in the people's table we have the common attributes. If you look at the people's table, so there is a ID, so it means employee ID is there, and also in hours table there is also employee ID. So we can link these two tables, people's table and hours tables, based on the common attribute ID. So we can do that. So in order to create these relationships, what we need to do is you need to click on the ID column of the people table and then drag it onto the employee ID of the hours table. So just click on ID and then drag it and leave it on employee ID. Now the relationship will be established. You can see that so it's one to many relationships. Understand, that means one one person can have multiple work hours. Understand, one person can have multiple working hours. So one to many relationship has been created, and we can see that. And then so normally this is the relationship one to many or many to one. If you take it in reverse, that means hours to people is many to one, and peoples to hours is one to many. And you can see the cardinality. If you just click on this link, if you just click on that link, you can see the cardinality is many to one, because first is hours table, next is people. So if you take it in reverse, that is one to many. And cardinality means how these two tables are connected. You can see the different types of no joinings here. So many to one, one to one, one to many, and many to one. So it depends on your data. The Power BI automatically selects the cardinality. So this is no cardinality. It is correct actually. Multiple hours exist with individual person. And crash filter a direction is single here. That means in one way. Okay, you can access this information in one way. If you select both, then both in both way it is applicable. And one more point to be noted is this is the kind of line you have, right? The kind of line you have is a solid line. That is a solid line which indicates the active relationships between the tables. So if the relationship is inactive, so which can be represented with a dashed line. So here you can have a dashed line also. So as the relationship is active, so we have the uh, a solid line. And these are the types of no the cardinalities. Different cardinalities exist in the Power BI one to many. That means one value connected with another value in the table, then many to one. So it means many multiple unique values connected with the unique value of the another table. So one to many, and then many to many. So there are four types of cardinalities supported in Power BI. So that we have seen. And then so if you just click on that, you can see the relationship. Just double click on the link, then it will open you the window in which you can edit the relationships. For example, if you want to modify this relationship, just click on that and you can see edit relationships, and here also you can modify your relationships. And you can also get the same window by clicking on this button, so manage relationships. So if you click on that, it will show you the number of relationships that you have. So far we just have single relationships. So ours, the field is employee ID, and from people's table ID, and that is the relationships. And here you have the options like you can create also new relationship, and auto detector is also there, edit is also there, and delete, you can delete the relationships. Next so after having that, we want to also create one more relationships, like for example calendar table and hours table, right? If you click on this calendar and hours table, and you can create a new relationships. You can create a new relationship, that is we can connect these two tables based on date. So date is the common attributes. So just click on this manage relationships, then click on new, and select the first table, let's say calendar. And from that you can see the date column is there. And next select hours table. In hours also there is a date. So these two are connected, and you can see the cardinality is one to one. Okay, one to one, single date details can be found. And crash filters direction is single here. And by default this is make this relationship active. So if you make it inactive, then that can be seen by dashed line. So once you do that, then select then click on OK, right? You need to click on OK, then new relationship has been created here, and that can be seen in the manage relationship window. Then you can click on close. So we have established a new relationship, and this has finished the linking of the tables. Now if you look at the no data view, right, this model view, so these tables are linked. If you just move this table down, okay, calendar and hours is there, okay, calendar and hours, and also you can see the relationship properly. Calendar and hours table and people and hours tables are connected. So links have been established. Next, how to explore the data. So far we have created a relationship. Then how to explore the data? That means we have a common attribute. So I would like to create a new page and rename that page as utilization. So click on plus icon, which will create a new table, and then here new page is created. Then you can rename this as, so not this, so we should not do this in a data views. You have to go to the report view. In the report view, click on plus icon, then rename this page as, let's say, utilization. That is done. And next, so expand the people table, and you need to check the box next to the name field. Then expand hours table, then check the box next to the hour field. That means we can see the relationship between the two tables. So expand people's table, click on arrow, and here is the name field. You need to check the box. Then the names are added, the table. So by default this visual is table type. You can see that in visualization. And next, select hours from hours table. Just click on that. So you can see two columns added, so name and sum of hour. So you can see the total work hours are 177,997.15. Individual work hours, the person name is there and the sum of hours is there. Next, so this table is by default this table is by default what, normal table. So just click on the table, and we just want to convert this into matrix type. So matrix type means you can have the main emphasis or focus on the calculations. So if there are any calculations, they are now highlighted. So this is the one. You can see in the names you have rows. In rows you have names, and values or sum of hours. And we would like to have category wise hours. Okay, category wise hours. So you need to select the table, and then when the table is selected, so from the hours table, click on the category and drag it onto the column area. So here's the column field, and you can see the button there, add data fields here. So just drag category and just leave it on columns. Yep, now add it. Now you can see the category wise work hours. Category wise work hours, the person, then total work hours you can see, and the category of billing is billable. We have also other other type of billing, like int, admin, other, PMB, PTOs, paid time of hours. So you can see this categories, and then respect to work hours for individual person, and in total is also matching. Next, we can also do the calculations. We can also add some calculated columns. The main objective of this case study is, so we want to know the utilization, employee utilization, and we are setting the static goal is 80%. So we want to make sure that employees are utilized by 80%. So we must create you must create a calculated column for this. So what are calculated columns? So calculated columns are additional columns which are created in data models uh, by using the DAX formulas. So DAX stands for data analysis expression. So you need to refer the documentation of Power BI. So it is coming with well defined documentation, and you need to know how to or no perform operations, different types of categories of no operations and or functions are available. So you need to remember the syntax. So based on the syntax you can do the calculated columns, and make a note that these calculated columns are computed for each row in the table at the time of their creation. So we can say these are static values. uh, and these calculated columns are always up to date, so based on the latest data. So that is the use of these calculated columns. And then so in order, let's create some calculated column. So I want to have the works total of work hours. So now click on the data view, and then in the hours table, so from the modeling you can select new column, and we want to have the column as sum of hours. So hours table is selected. When you select the hours table, you can see the options here. New, these are the options: new measure, quick measure, new column, new table. So these are the four options available. So we want to create on new column, and then this column is equals to we want to have sum of okay, sum of hours. So this is going to be a calculated column. You have to enclose that in no square bracket to refer the same table. So you have a column hours, and you are doing the sum of hours. So new column is created here. You can see that we want to rename it later on. So new column is created, and then there are two types of column evaluation: row and filter. So by default, so they are evaluated based on the row. That means when the DAX calculation, when the DAX calculated formula or equation evaluated, it considers the current value, current row. So that is row context. Next, we want to have also one more calculated column, and that is we want to have hours divided by total hours. Okay, we want to have hours divided by total hours. So let's create a new column. Click on the table, a new column, then new column is equals to hours values divided by total hours. So there is a total hours column. So this shows the utilization. Then we want to also have one more column, that is column 3, to get the total hours billed. That means the category is only billable. So column 3 is equals to sum x, just like for loop. Iteratively you will be getting the all the sums, filtering all the work hours, and category equals to billable, and employee ID equals to earlier of employee ID. That means you will be getting the current value, current employee ID from the hours table. So you have to, let me just copy and paste there. So creating a new column. So click on so select the table, then I click on new column and paste the formula. So sum x, iteratively get the work hours, right? Iteratively get the work hours, and the category is billable. So that is the condition, and employee ID equals to earlier of employee ID, and that is retrieved from the current table, which is hours. So if you just put your pointer while writing the DAX formula, you can also see the syntax, and then press enter. So new column is created, that is column 3. Next, we also wants to have a new column, that is to get the total number of hours reported by each employee. It is similar to the column 3, but here we don't have the billable. Understand, we don't have the billable. So create a new column, again select the table, new column, then paste here the formula is equals to sum x It is similar to the previous one, but we don't have the category, so that is the difference. And then press enter. So column 4 is also created, where we get the total work hours, total number of hours reported by each employee. Then finally we want to have a utilization. Utilization means dividing the column 3, right, column 3 and column 4, and the default value is 0 for the result. So click on hours, create a new column, then this is the formula, dividing column 3 with column 4 and the default value is 0. So far 5 columns are created, and this for this column we want to have the value to be percentage because it's a utilization percentage. So when the column is selected, you can see the format here. So click on percentage. The number of digits we want to just have 0 decimal digits. That is done. Next, so now we got the suitable columns, and we don't require the columns like column 2, right? And then yeah, column and column 2 are must be deleted, so we don't require. So if you just put your pointer on the column name, you can see 3 dots. Just select, click on that, and then delete from model. So column is deleted. Similarly, you also delete column 2. To delete from model, click S. So they are deleted. Next, we want to have there is a total hours, and we want to rename this as total hours in period. Okay, there is a column total hours. We want to rename that as total hours in period. So here is the total hours. Just double click and rename it as total hours in period. That is done. And then now rename the column 3 to total billable hours. We want to rename the column 3 as total billable hours. So we have billable hours there. So column 3, double click and then rename it as total billable hours. Then column 4 to total hours. Column 4 just total hours. Column 4 as total hours, and then column 5 is utilization, percentage utilization. Rename column 5 as percentage space utilization. So we have created suitable columns. Next, so to use these columns in the visualizations, go to the report view, and then we want to create a new table. So name from the people's table, and select these attributes. Just below this, you just click on the blank area of the canvas and select name. So name is from the people's table. Done. And then we would like to select this total billable hours. Total billable hours. This is total hours billed. Total billable hours, and then total hours. Okay, total billable hours, and then also select percent utilization. So 3 columns. But as you see, these values are very bigger, so we want to make them as average. So just right click on the columns. So we just want to have the total billable hours as the average instead of sum, and repeat for the other attributes also. Here total billable hours, if you just click on this arrow, So defaults aggregation operation is sum, so select average. So average total billable average 359.44. Similarly, average total hour, similarly average utilization. So you can see the total hours are 80. So we are utilizing the people 80%. So next, the another important thing you need to know in Power BI is your measures. So what are the measures? So measures are nothing but this allows us to have automatic operations. So there are two types of measures: implicit and explicit. Implicit measures are created automatically by Power BI. So we'll see that later on. And explicitly means we can create our own measure, and on this measure you can apply some aggregation operations like sum, average, maximum, minimum, distinct count, standard deviation, variance, median for numerical fields. And if it is a categorical type or text type, then you can have first, last, distinct count and count. So implicit measures are added when you want to have a table, right, on the calculated columns. And we place this total hours and percent utilization column in the table, or no, implicit sum measures. So we change them to average. So but when you want to have a dynamic data, right, dynamic data, so in that case you can go for measures. The difference between calculated columns and measures is uh, calculated columns are used for static value and measures are for dynamic. So if you when you want to expect dynamic change, then you can go for measure. So we are going to create a new measure. So right click on the hours table, and we want to have this, so it is billable hours, billable hours. So right click on hours table, select this table and new measure, click on this new measure. So the measure is sum x, iteratively sum the hours where the category is billable from the hours table. You'll be getting the total hours. But this is a measure. You can see the no icon difference. So this is created, new measure is created. So and then so you can perform operations on the measures if it is once it is created, but okay, we can keep that there. And then we want to have a separate table for all the measures, right? We want to have a separate table for all the measures. So in order to do that, you need to click on home, and we create a blank data, so blank query. So get data blank query from the Power Query editor, and rename the query as has measures. So home, get data, and then blank query, select blank query. Then you'll be getting the separate on a window in which you'll have the new query created. So rename this as has measures. Okay, has measures is the table name. This will create a new table. And right click on this measures table and uncheck this include in report refresh, because this is the blank query. So right click on this and uncheck include in report refresh. That is done. After that, we need to apply close and apply. So just save this blank table, close and apply, then close and apply. Then you can exit from Power Query editor. So this has created new table. You can see there in the data, new measure, has measures. Next we want to move this measure into the hours. Select measure in hours table, then select the table home as measures table. right click on this or just click on this, then you can see, just a second, so just click on this measure. You can see home table instead of hours table. We want to keep all the measures in the has measures table. Then this particular column will be moved to the has measures table. You can see that here. And next we have to delete this one 3 dads and then delete from model, so that will be deleted. Has measures, yes, that is deleted. And next we want to rename this, so right click this has measures column and rename this as total billable hours. This new column, double click, then has total total has total billable hours. Let me just copy from here. So has total hours, new column is created. You can see that. Next so we want to have you can also create some other metrics, like in the calendar table we want to have the total work hours. So work hours, if it is a work day, then 8 hours, and if it is a not work day, then the total work hours are 0. So we create a new column, select this measures, new column, not here, so you can just cancel this. In the calendar table, so new column, the new column is work hours. If it is a working day, the number of work hours are 8, otherwise 0. So new column is created, work hours. And after that, so right click on the measures table and new measure, you have to create a new measure, that is total hours is equals to sum of work hours from the calendar table. Click on the table, then new measure. This is not in calendar table. Okay, so a new measure is created over here. Next, and again we want to create one more measure, that is utilization, by dividing the total billable hours with total hours. So utilization equals to dividing total billable hours with total hours, and default value is 0. So new measure is created. Now, so select the table visualization, and we want to add this total hours and utilization measures for this table. So we want to add a we'll add a, so you can select this table or that one, doesn't make a difference. So we want to add the total hours and utilization. You see there is a strange behavior here, 6256 6256, and total utilization is incorrect, which is 23.90. So because you are just getting these values in one way. So in order to fix this problem, so click on the manage relationship, then ensure that this on this date column and hours date relationship. So in the edit you have to make this in both directions, single to both. Okay, so just click on manage relationships, modeling, not from modeling, it is in the manage relationships, this hours date calendar. So click on edit. So this is single, make it both directions, click on OK. Now we have the correct value, that is 6256, and utilization is 23.90. So that is creating the measures. Next, so there the measures to the total is not covered actually. There are some blank spaces. This total measures values are not correct. There are also some blank values. So in order to fix this problem, what you can do is you can create a new measure, total hours by employee, and that is equals to sum of calendar work hours. So in the measures table, new measure, so here we have employee hours by total hours by employee, which is equals to sum of work hours from the calendar table. So that is done. Next, but again this total hours is not correct because there are some people which are not having the missing values. They are having missing values. So we want to edit the total hours formula. So total hours, because if has one value, if there is a value with respect to the person, and considering this as considering that as total hours by employee, summing of all the work hours. So this total hours by employee, this no, red color one is a local variable. We are just summing all the total hours, and then this particular measure returns the total hours. So that is done. Next, total utilization is actually here 83.82, but we are getting Yeah, so we got the correct value. So it's 84%. Earlier it was wrong, now it is 84%. Next, so there are some implies having the blank missing values. So in order to do that, so we have to modify this one. We have to modify this total means percent utilization equals to, we are creating a variable utilization by dividing the total billable hours with total hours, and this will return the default value is 0, and it will return if is blank utilization. That means if the utilization value is blank, then 0, right, instead of having just no value. And you can also modify this like this, days wise, number of days, based on the days you can also modify. So utilization equals to, utilization, you'll be getting the utilization by dividing total billable hours with total hours, and you're also getting the days from hours table, count rows, and return if it is a blank, then blank s, if is blank of utilization is 0, then 0. So this formula is better. So this will give you the total percent of utilization. So we have to modify this again. So done, we have modified that. So this now this concludes, so no, creating calculated columns and measures. So what we have learned so far in this video is, so we have set up the no relationship between the tables based on the common attributes, and we have created a new table, that is measures. In this measures table we have calculated no columns, calculated measures, these are the calculated measures, and we have also created some other calculated columns in calendar table and also in hours tables. So with this changes, so in the next session we can also go for some creating a report, creating a report, and then we'll create a dashboard. So dashboard is nothing but a set of pages or set of reports. So I just want to end this video over here itself, but do follow us so that we can have a meaningful insight from the case study which we have taken. So the target goal is, we need to know whether the employees are utilized to the target goal, which is 80%. How much employees are utilized, and you can also check the utilization with respect to different other attributes, like based on the location, based on the division. So we can have very meaningful visualizations in the next video. So just save this work so that we'll use the same Jupyter notebook, sorry, same this Power BI file in the next video. So thanks for watching. Do subscribe our channel so that you can get more updated videos once they are